Hi everyone and welcome to Foulmouth Pinball Tutorials. I am Dennis B and today we are going to talk about Hurricane. Or as some people call it online, Hurricunt. You know who you are, Pinball Wizard 2023. So we'll talk about the table and find out why. Why do people call this Hurricunt? There's nothing wrong with this table, is there? So, starting off, I just wanted to start off sharing some of my general thoughts about the table, and then we'll go in through a kind of an in-depth overview of all of the shots and things that are kind of going on here, and then we'll talk a little bit about the main scoring modes, and talk a little bit about some strategies. And then I'll kind of wrap up with some other kind of like general notes and watch-outs specific to the 4KP. So again, what you're seeing here, this is Hurricane on the AtGames 4K pinball. So why are people so frustrated with this game? Well, very simple. This game kind of is a cunt. It has really difficult ramp shots. Again, and this is specific to 4KP when you're playing it on here. These ramp shots are really tough. The ball is super fucking heavy. You know, you've got these outlane drains that I don't know if anyone else is having this issue, but these fucking outlanes, the ball goes anywhere near the outlanes, they're going out, they're draining. Real pain in the ass. It's just like almost like a vacuum sucking them out to the outlanes. It's a pretty low scoring game compared to a lot of other games, which that in and of itself isn't a problem. It's just like it feels like you're doing a shit ton of work on this table to really not get a lot of gain. You know what I mean? Like I talked about, some of these ramp shots are hard, and then it's like, okay, you get going, it's, oh man, I got a nice, groove going, and I hit the ramp shot like 4 times in a row, and then you look, and it's like, yeah, you got like 2 million points for hitting the ramp 4 times in a row, and it's like, well, fuck me, right? So I think that is like the, kind of a lot of the cause of the frustration. The other thing that I kind of couldn't really put my finger on until I really started digging into the rule set of this table is the fact that, you've got a handful of major shots, and again, we'll go through all the individual things on the table, but, when you do when you complete some of the major shots on the table, and then you kind of, miss, let's say, for example, like you're doing your loops and you're getting your 1,000,000 point loops, and then you miss it, well, the shot deactivates, and you have to reactivate it by hitting other shots on the board, and it's like that for every major point getting shot on the board. That's a real pain in the ass. So having to, like, okay, you miss a shot, and then you have to kind of go and unlock it, and in order to unlock it, you got to make even harder shots. It's just a real frustrating pain in the ass. Some of the things that you kind of need to do to unlock, I was kind of touching on this, to unlock, are dangerous shots. You have dangerous shots all over the board, but they're shots that you have to do. So again, it's very frustrating when you're trying to make a shot that you're required to do, and it just is a fucking drain monster. Let's see, a couple other things here. Remembering what does what. There are very few shots on this table, and a lot of them have multiple purposes. And trying to remember what does what on the board can be frustrating when you're in the middle of the fucking game, and especially if you got multi-balls going and you're like, okay, what do I need to hit again? Trying to remember everything, difficult. Let's see, this is one of the few tables, I know it's not the only one, but like where you have a mystery award or a random award that you get that can literally give you absolutely fucking nothing, and it tells you that, and it basically mocks you to your face. It's pretty fucked up. Let's see, and then finally, these are some of my my personal things. You got a creepy ass clown here playing the drum on his nutsack. Yeah, his legs are spread, and he's playing the drum on his nutsack. See, that's his drum. I don't think, not activated yet, but yeah, that's quite off-putting. And then, of course, you also have the dummy shot where you have the asshole dummy taunting you the whole time. And, of course, you can't go after that shot because it's going to drain. That's a pain in the ass. And then, finally, I've got it turned down. Look, I know some people like it, but for me personally, the fucking annoying circus music going on in this table. You know, yeah, some people, it's like you're at the fair. It sounds great, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, when you're playing this game for the 20th time in a row and you're getting, a shitload of bad drains, yeah, the music's not cute anymore. It's actually quite fucking annoying. So, yeah. So there's lots of reasons to hate this table, but we'll go through it. We'll learn it together, and maybe, just maybe, folks will learn a few things, and we'll start to improve our scores, because I think overall the scores aren't super high. As I said, this isn't a super high scoring table, but well, and I'll make this point later. While this table is hard, it doesn't make it a bad table. It just makes it hard. Okay, so let's talk about all of the ramps and targets and kind of what you want to shoot for at this table. So I'm going to go left to right and top to bottom, and we'll kind of go through all of these. So first things first is the Ferris wheel shot. That's this ramp right up here. So you shoot the ball up here, it feeds it to the Ferris wheel, and it actually feeds it to these two wheels here, which is a really cool mechanism. I'd actually love to see this work, kind of in person, but the ball ends up in this, this blue wheel. They both, the blue wheel and the red wheel turn, and then the blue wheel feeds the ball into the red wheel, feeds the ball into this ramp, and then it comes around this kind of loop-de-loop, and then feeds right down to your flipper. So it's a really kind of cool, interesting shot to watch. But at the same time, when you're playing and you're trying to move things along, especially if you're, if you have like a timed mode going, having this, take literally 10 seconds to get the freaking ball back, that could be a little bit annoying, but kind of cool and fun to watch nonetheless. But again, some of the things you need to know about with this shot, and this is what I kind of mentioned before, is like all of these ramps and all these shots have multiple purpose and they do multiple things. So this one here awards you your Ferris wheel bonus, right? So this big square light here, when this light is on, that's how you know the Ferris wheel bonus is active. You shoot it up there and you get that Ferris wheel bonus. The Ferris wheel bonus, I think it starts at like 350,000 and increases every time you hit it, but then also it increases, I believe, with bumper hits as well, but not by a ton. So that's how you get your Ferris wheel shot, that there. There's also this round quick score light. When that is lit, you shoot that up there, same thing. It's, it'll tell you on the DMD what the score is, but it's a lot of times it's like a quick 250,000 points, something along those lines there. Okay. This shot also relights the comet ramp. So we'll get to the comet ramp in a second, but I mentioned earlier that when you're kind of shooting these ramps and then you're kind of doing a loop and then you miss one, they kind of reset or they deactivate. In order to kind of reactivate them, you have to hit another shot. So this is important to kind of remember, if you can remember. If you ever need to relight the middle comet lane, this is the lane you have to hit to relight it. Okay, I'm looking here, I saw this in the instructions. I don't see it anywhere on the table to tell you to do that, so I don't know how the fuck are supposed to know, but that was in the rule set that I read, and I think I've seen it myself. I think it'll probably tell you on the DMD to shoot the Ferris wheel, especially if you hit the deactivated comet. I believe it tells you there as well. Really wish it said on the table. Okay, and then this also lights the clown's left eye. It does tell you it here, and that's the clown down here. So again, we'll talk about this more in just a bit, but lights the clown's left eye. And then last thing too, also when you shoot this up here and it does the full Ferris wheel, when the ball comes down, it will also light the Dunk the Dummy light as well. So all of that said, just think about that. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different things that this shot does. Okay, so trying to remember them all and keep them all straight is again one of the things that's kind of hard on the table with the table, and you have to kind of just you play it enough where you just kind of know, okay, this is what I need to do next. So So that's just one ramp right there. 5 different things going on that particular ramp. Okay. The next one over is the juggler. And so that's the ramp that leads up here, and it leads up to this giant box. And you can kind of see this juggling clown here. And basically, this is kind of, again, a cool mechanism where the ball comes up in here, and you can kind of see the open window. The ball, you know, gets shot up around and then feeds out down here, so it looks like this clown is juggling the ball. So again, kind of cool, interesting mechanic there. But again, this is another one of those that has multiple purposes. So as you can see there, the ball lock is here. So this is, again, where when you have these ball lock lights activated, this is where you shoot the ball to lock the ball, and it's basically a 2-ball lock, and then the third ball, you know, starts the multi-ball when you plunge it. But we'll talk about the multi-ball a little bit later. Okay, when you have this yellow mystery light lit up, you shoot the ball up in here, and this is what awards you the mystery. Again, I'll go through that in a little bit more detail. And then, of course, when you get all of the palace lights, the jackpot train gets lit, and that is where you shoot to collect your jackpot. Again, we'll go into that in a bit more detail in a little while. All right. Next, this is the comet ramp. So in the terms of the circus here, there's 2 roller coasters. This is the comet roller coaster, and this is the hurricane roller coaster. Okay, so this comet ramp, again, really, really difficult ramp. It's really hard to get the timing down and the right angles to hit this. I know it's a weird thing to say because it's right there in the fucking middle. You'd think that this would be an easy shot from the right flipper. It's not. Even harder from the left flipper. Again, you're supposed to be able to hit from either one. Really hard. You know, hits your posts a lot. Goes inside the ramp and kind of rattles around and comes down a lot. You really have to hit it, like, just the way that the physics are, the way it's programmed. It feels like you have to hit the ball fucking perfect in order to get it up and around, which is possible, but it's just, in many ways, it just feels unnecessary to kind of get the ball, you know, halfway up the ramp and it just kind of rattles around and comes back. It's like, I really wish they made it a little bit smoother. But anyway, so this ramp here, you can see the lights here. What it is it's increasing scores. So it's like the first time you hit it, you get the 50K, then 100, then 200, then 300. So it goes up each time that you hit the ramp, all the way up to 1,000,000 points. Now, it's a little bit funky because when the game starts, it actually skips over the 50 and starts at the 100. So you really only need to hit it 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th time to get your 1,000,000. But then after you do it that first time, at least, or within a ball, after you relight it, it then starts at the 50, and then you have to hit it 5 times to get to the 1,000,000. So again, it can be a very valuable and lucrative shot if you can figure out the timing of it, because once you get it to 1,000,000, again, you can loop it and hit it as many times as you want, and it's unlimited millions. You can just do it over and over and over again. But my thought on that is good fucking luck, because that is not an easy shot to hit. Can be done, you know, God bless you if you can get the timing down and hit it regularly, because that is going to get you a shit ton of points. Let's see. Okay, and another thing to note, and it's really, really small, and it's not lit up while you're playing, so it's kind of good to take a look at it now. That 300K shot, and it's kind of blocked, it's that green light there. Okay, so when you hit this ramp 3 times, that 3rd time where you get that 300K, it also lights the clown's mouth. That's the clown down here. So I think a lot of people are always kind of wondering, like, where are all the, you know, light up pieces, especially the mouth. The mouth is the one that seems to be the most hidden. It's because it's that one, and you have to hit this ramp 3 times in order to get that lit. So yeah, so those are basically that's the main kind of things for this particular ramp, is just this increasing score and lighting the clown's mouth. Okay. The hurricane ramp, so that's this right here. Okay, so the hurricane ramp is probably the main ramp that you want to hit in playing this game. Now, maybe not everyone will agree with that, but for my money, this is the shot that you're probably gonna try to hit the most. This one here, there's a lot to it. So much like this ramp here, when you shoot it, there's an increasing value each time you get it. So when the game starts, for example, you shoot, well, when the game starts, the first shot is going to be the skill shot, right? So this is going to be lit up. You plunge the ball, it comes all the way around, loops around here, comes to your flipper, and you want to fire it right up there to get your skill shot. If you hit the skill shot, the first time it's 500,000, then it's 1 million, then 1.5, then 2 million. I believe it maxes out at 3. I believe it maxes out at 3, but again, even getting to that is hard because that's hitting the skill shot. That's multiple. That's all 3 of your balls and multiple extra balls in order to kind of get it up that high. But basically, it goes up by 500,000 each time you hit the skill shot. In addition to that, you also get a palace letter lit if you hit the skill shot as well. And I believe there's also instances where you can get 2. And I can't remember off the top of my head what triggers that, but there is a way to get multiple palace letters by hitting that skill shot. But anyway, so for the hurricane ramp, as we talked about, it's the skill shot, but then when you're in just regular play, what you need to do is you need to shoot up that ramp, and the first time you shoot it up, it's like 225,000. And then the next time it's like 250,000 or something along those lines, or maybe it's 275. Anyway, it's just over 200,000 for the first 2 shots. And then, but after you hit the second shot, the DMD will say million lit. And then so for the third shot, that's when you actually get 1 million points, right? So again, in theory, you could just continue hit that shot over and over and over again, and you can get unlimited millions. Much easier said than done. But as I said, though, as soon as you get to the million, and if you hit that first million shot, let's just say you hit the million shot 2 or 3 times in a row, and then you miss it. After you miss it, it's timed. You only have a few seconds. I would say it's somewhere between 5 and 10 seconds. And if you don't hit the shot again, the entire thing deactivates and you need to reactivate it again. And I'll talk about a little bit how to reactivate it, but it makes it much tougher because it's not just a simple, as soon as you get it to 1 million, you just hit it, as much as you want. Like, it's timed and you have to do it consecutively. Okay, so that's the increasing value. We talked about the skill shot, spotting palace letters. So again, you can see the light right here. Whenever the spot palace light is lit, you shoot it up there, and that's how you collect your palace letters. Palace letters will eventually lead to, when you get them all, you can hit the jackpot. Again, we'll talk about that more in just a bit. This is also how you start clown time. So if you get all the clown's face lit up, there's start clown time, orange little light down there. You shoot it up and around that ramp. That's what starts the clown time. Clown time is a timed, like a hurry up mode, which again, we'll talk about in a bit. Let's see, there is also, this is where you collect the special. I don't have a ton of information on what the special is. I believe it's just a credit, which doesn't really do us any good on this one here. On the, on the 4KP, specials a lot of times just don't really matter. Let's see, and then the final thing is lighting the clown's right eye. So again, it's hidden there in this triangle here, this arrow, but lighting. So this is also again how you light part of the clown, the clown's right eye. Okay, so much like we talked about with this ramp and these other ramps, there's a lot going on with this one ramp, and it does a lot of different things. So it's trying to keep all that straight is really important to know what shot you need to hit next, or what you need to do. If you see it's not activated, okay, then what do you do? Where do you go from there? Where do you shoot it? So there's a lot to keep track of for this game. Okay, so that's it. So that's all the ramps. So let's think about it. 1, 2, 3, 4 ramps for the whole game. But because there's only 4, they jam just a lot of different stuff into those ramps. Okay, next shot here is tucked between these 2 ramps. Dunk the dummy. Biggest pain in the ass I've experienced pretty much on any of these fucking tables, man. This thing here, it's a, obviously it's a spot target. You gotta shoot right at it in order to activate it. This is what increases your score multiplier. So your score multiplier is here on this blue hat here, and it kind of, the light will tell you where you're at. I believe. So essentially, there's kind of two ways to go about it. If you shoot it and hit it once, it lights it, and then you have to hit it again in order to collect the multiplier. Or like I mentioned before, if you hit the Ferris wheel and it comes around, it will light it, and then you only have to hit it once. Man, don't ever go for this directly. It's just going to, cause you a lot of frustration because you hit it and the fucker comes right back down. The other thing about it too is because it's sandwiched between these two posts here, the ball loves to go up there, hit the spot target, but then it kind of rattles between the posts, and it just perfectly just softens and deadens the ball and allows it to roll right down the fucking middle. Like it's perfectly designed to fuck you over. So don't do it. A lot of times you're going to hit it by accident. It's going to hit on redirects and deflections. That's the best way to do it. I would never go for it directly. If you do, you're just kind of asking for trouble. So that's just my recommendation on the Dunk the Dummy. But getting back to the multiplier. So the multiplier goes all the way up to 6 times your bonus. And this is the end of ball bonus here. And then another thing to note that is pretty interesting, when you start the game, right, you'll see the 3x down here is flashing. What that means is if you can increase your multiplier, so obviously it starts off at 1x, you hit it the first time, it goes to 2x. When you get it to 3x, to the blinking one, that actually triggers to light the extra ball lamps. So if you can get to 3x, you get an extra ball or an opportunity for an extra ball, and then you have to hit one of these rollovers to collect the extra ball, and the rollover has to be lit. So really quickly, the best way to do that for my money is, again, aim for this ramp or this ramp and try to hit one of the two ramps. And then as soon as you got, especially this one is probably the easiest because it takes the longest. If you shoot it up this ramp, it takes a nice long time to get all the way around. Gives you plenty of time. Hit your flipper buttons and get the light, because you can cycle the light to this in lane, and boom, you collect the extra ball nice and easy. So anyway, keep that in mind though, that's why that light is flashing. And then after you collect the 3x, the 6x will flash, and if you get to the 6x, same thing, another extra ball. So there is some reward there in, trying to get your multiplier up by hitting the Dunk the Dummy, but, again, I don't recommend it because you're going to fucking drain 3 balls trying to get 2 extra balls. Not worth it. Okay, the duck targets. So these purple ones are the duck targets, okay? These are what you hit in order to relight the Ferris wheel light. So this square Ferris wheel light that goes up this ramp, after you collect it, the light goes away. These 3, you have to hit all 3 of these targets, and then it relights it, and you can collect it again. That's one thing that it does. These 3 targets also relight the locks, the ball locks, or light the ball locks. So in order to kind of get your ball locks set up, you have to, again, hit all 3. This is a really important target to hit when it comes to scoring, because if you can figure out a good method for hitting all 3 of these targets and getting those ball locks, you want to try to get the multi-ball as many times as you can in this game. That's probably the best way to score. So very, very important to kind of figure out a good way to shoot and collect all 3 of these spot targets here. Or actually, technically, I think they're drop targets because those little things in the back drop down when you hit them, but whatever. These 3 targets, hit them all. It's going to light your Ferris wheel. It's going to light your locks. And then in addition, when you hit all 3, it also lights one of the clown parts, the clown's left cheek. Okay, cat targets. So the cat targets are on the other side. It's these green ones. It's these 4. So these cat targets, this is how you relight the hurricane ramp. So again, as I mentioned before, if you hit the 1 million, maybe you hit it a couple times and then you miss it, and then the timer goes out and it deactivates, you need to hit all 4 of these cat targets to relight this this ramp. And the important thing to note too, because I tried this, it's a little bit messed up too, is if this ramp gets deactivated and you drain, you launch the next ball, and if you miss the skill shot, the ramp actually remains deactivated. So no matter what, you have to hit it. So it doesn't reactivate on a new ball, which also to me is a little bit messed up. But again, just makes the thing harder. So anyway, when you're looking to reactivate the hurricane ramp, these 4 targets are the ones that you need to hit. You're probably going to end up hitting these targets a lot by accident. I know I do, just on deflections, and when you're trying to for this ramp and you're a little bit late, you're going to be hitting those. It's very rare that I find myself having to target them, but it does come up from time to time. Let's see. So it relates the hurricane. These also light the clown's right cheek here. And then they also relight the mystery award. So this mystery award here in the juggler ramp, this square yellow, after you collect it, when it's not lit anymore, you hit these 4 targets. That's how you relight it, and you can collect it again. So again, like I talked about with the ramps, it's the same thing with these drop targets, man. They just have lots of fucking purposes. In terms of, activating ramps, activating the ball locks, activating the clown face. One thing I forgot to mention, the Dunk the Dummy also lights the clown's nose. So at some point you kind of do have to hit that in order to light the clown's nose if you want to get the clown time. So all of these targets all do multiple things, and I know I keep harping on this, but it's like trying to keep them all straight on like what you need to hit and where you need to go next can be a challenge on this one. Okay, so last couple of things on here, the clown face. So this one here, the clown face has 6 lights on it, right? So you've got 2 eyes, two cheeks, the nose, and the mouth. So I went through all of these already, but essentially, again, there's shots throughout the table that you need to hit in order to activate all of those. And what happens is when you get all of the lights lit, you then need to shoot the ball up here. Again, the start clown time, and then it starts this like 25-second clown time mode, which is basically a kind of a hurry up mode where scoring is multiplied. So I'll talk about that more in just a second here, but it's just one of those things just so you're trying to figure out like what is the deal with all these lights. It's basically just various shots around here that you have to light up in order to kind of activate a mode. Now, one thing that I find a little bit annoying, a little bit frustrating, and maybe it's me because I'm just, anal retentive, but, something that I think is important to note, all right? So just using this as an example. So these 3 targets light the clown's left cheek. Okay, so when I first started playing the game, I was like, wait a minute. What does that mean, left cheek? Like I had one light that I wanted to light, and I was like, okay, this one says the left cheek. Is it my left or is it the clown's left? It says the clown's left cheek. So I was trying to figure out, okay, do I need to hit this shot or do I need to hit this shot for the left, for the cheek that's like on this side? Okay, so look, I'm not telling you guys anything that you don't know, but like, this side is the fucking clown's left cheek. It's his left. Not my left or your left, his left. But no, for the purposes of this table, left cheek is left side, so your left. So basically for left cheek and left eye, which is this one here. So the shots on the left of the table light this side of the clown, and the shots on the right side of the table, right, this shots of the clown. So anyway, I don't mean to argue semantics, but I'm like, that's not the clown's left cheek. It's the cheek that's on my left side. The clown's left cheek is over here. Anyway, just the easiest way to think about it is like if you're looking to light something on this side of the clown's face, the shots are on this side of the table, on this side of the table. Okay, and like we said, the nose is right there in the middle, and the mouth also in the middle. So that's the best way to kind of keep it straight on like, okay, which one am I lighting? Very annoying and frustrating with me. Yes, I'm anal retentive, but I mean, come on, you could make it a little bit clearer here. Okay, so let's talk now about scoring and really the main scoring modes. So the way I kind of see it is there's kind of three, maybe four kind of main ways to maximize your score or get the biggest scores here. Okay, so the first one and the most obvious one is the multi-ball. And the multi-ball it's a 3-ball multi-ball. And as I touched on before, what you want to do is you want to hit these 3 duck targets in order to light these green locks here. Okay, so when you activate all 3, the lights will lock, and then you have to shoot 2 balls up into the juggler. So you shoot the first one in there, it locks the ball, you plunge, you shoot the next one in there, it locks the ball, and then when you plunge the third ball, the other 2 balls, drop out, and then your multi-ball is going. So while you have the multi-ball going, I think the most lucrative shot that you want to kind of go for is probably the hurricane. Okay, so the way the hurricane works during multi-ball is this is where this light up here comes into play and activates. So let's just say, for example, you start the 3-ball multi-ball, the balls come down, and of course, remember, you're plunging the third one. So the third one's going to be coming around this ramp and coming out here. The other 2 balls are going to be coming down here. So if you're able to shoot the hurricane ramp, the first shot up the ramp is 1 million, okay? You're able to get the ball back, shoot it again. The next shot is 2 million, and the next shot after that is 5 million. So that's 8 million for those 3 shots right there, okay? But I think with most tables, what you're used to is that once you get this up to 5 million, that it stays at 5. It actually doesn't. It resets. So after you hit the 5 million, the next shot goes back to 1 million, and then back to 2, and then 5. So basically, you have to kind of hit it 3 times, and it's 8 million every single time. But one thing to kind of keep in mind is that you can't constantly get the 5 million, 5 million, 5 million. It goes 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 5 each time you hit it. So that there is probably the most lucrative way to do it. And if you're really, really good, and you can kind of if you can capture a ball on your right flipper and hold it, in theory, you could then shoot with your left flipper with another ball. Let's just say, for example, you have the 3 balls, you lose 1, but you've got 1 trapped and 1 on this flipper. If you can, in theory, hold 1 ball on this flipper and then shoot this shot over and over again if you can get the timing right, because it just keeps feeding down to this flipper. So you can hold 1 ball and just bang, 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 bang. It's one way to do it. It's hard. I've tried it several times. I can get a few shots in a row, but eventually, you're gonna miss one, and then of course, it's the scramble mode of whenever you miss the ball, chances are it's coming down and onto this flipper and hitting your other ball. But that's probably the one thing that you can kind of go for, that you can kind of get consistent points if you can hit that shot consistently, that ramp. Okay, another option is to shoot the comet ramp. Okay, so again, just like during regular play, if you can make this shot multiple times in a row, when you get this shot up to 1 million, and I believe during multi-ball, I believe you only have to hit it the 3 times to get to the million. Again, same thing, if you can hold the ball on this flipper and shoot with this flipper, you can again just repeat, the ball just going to come down and shoot and come down and shoot and come down and shoot. This is just, maxes out at 1 million at a time, but it's again a consistent and much quicker million, if you can make that shot. So that's another potential option as well during the multi-ball. And then a third option is shooting balls up to the Ferris wheel. So if you've got all three balls, let's say early in the multi-ball, you shoot the first ball up to the Ferris wheel, and it's 750,000 points. The second ball is 1 million, and the third ball is 2 million. So that could be, if you're good at this shot, it's almost like, think about it as like this quick score, right? It's 750, 100. 750 to 1 million to 2 million. Just firing three balls up that ramp. Again, probably hard during the multi-ball, and this isn't the easiest shot to hit to begin with. But again, just another option to kind of maximize your points during multi-ball. So when multi-ball ends, after you have your three balls, you're hitting your ramps, you're getting some scoring, but eventually, your first ball and your second ball drain, and the multi-ball ends. Every single time, it's then going to activate a random playfield multiplier, and that playfield multiplier could be 2, 3, or 5 times. Okay, and the interesting thing about that is that, let's say, for example, I believe the minimum when you lose the second ball, the minimum multiplier time is like 25 seconds. But let's just say, for example, you have the multi-ball going for like a full minute, okay? The multiplier actually lasts the same amount of time as you had the multi-ball going, okay? So it can actually track, the game actually tracks, so this is pretty interesting, how long you had the multi-ball. So if you had the multi-ball going for a minute, you'll get a full minute of multiplied playfield, which is pretty cool, because obviously if you have a multiplied playfield, then that's when you want to, again, try to hit those ramps and get the 2x, 3x, 5x, whatever it may be. So that's a pretty interesting kind of nugget to keep in mind, is like the longer you have the multi-ball going, the longer your bonus multiplier, playfield multiplier is after the multi-ball ends. So it's pretty cool. Now, one thing that I read that's interesting, and I don't know if it's programmed into the 4KP, it's something I'll have to test a little bit, but we talked about holding a ball on a flipper and then doing a continuous shot. Well, according to some research I did online, if you actually do that and you hold one flipper up, it actually negates everything that I just talked about, and you don't get that bonus. So it's pretty interesting, some of the shit that they programmed into this. So basically, they will know if you are just holding one ball and doing, a repeat loop. And if they do that, they kind of punish you by taking away the added time for the playfield multiplier, which I think is pretty interesting. If it were me, if you're good at hitting that shot, you're fucking better off taking those points, and who cares about the multiplier after. But it's just an interesting thing to note, that if you do that hold the ball trick, you're going to lose the multiplier, or just you're going to get the standard like 25-second multiplier after the multi-ball ends. Okay, let's see. Okay, so that's multi-ball. One more point on the multi-ball too is so the first time you unlock the locks, you just have to hit these 3 targets once, and it unlocks both of those green lock lights. Well, then for every subsequent time to unlock, you actually have to do this twice. So you have to unlock it once, and then you get the first lock, and then you have to do all 3 again to get the second lock. And you don't necessarily have to lock a ball in between. It's just hitting these lights those, and then you can hit the balls up. So it's pretty interesting. So again, first time around, you got to hit 3 targets in order to unlock, the multi-ball mode, or be able to lock both balls. And then for subsequent times, you actually have to hit 6. So you have to do it twice. So it's definitely something to keep in mind, that with that first multi-ball, take advantage of it, because every subsequent one is just a little bit harder to get. Yeah, and so that's multi-ball mode. And again, that, the reality of it is that, that this 5 million point shot, or repeating these millions, or getting that up there, those are some of the most lucrative, lucrative point getters in the game. So you want to try to master and get that multi-ball as much as you can. Okay, so the next one is the Palace Jackpot, and this is probably the next most lucrative thing. So the Palace Jackpot is basically something that you can collect after you get all the Palace letters. So we talked about here, this is the shot you want to hit to collect and get those Palace letters. You can also get it from the Mystery Award here. But essentially, once you collect all of the Palace letters, it'll tell you on the DMD that, you know, you've lit Palace and that the bonus is unlocked. And all you need to do is shoot the ball right up here into the juggler and you collect the bonus. The bonus starts at 5 million points and actually increases by about 130,000 points for every time that you actually hit either one of these two ramps. So again, if it's a little bit later in the game and you've hit this ramp quite a bit, I mean, this, you know, I know some people have probably gotten it much higher, but I mean, I've gotten this at, you know, 7, 8, 9 million points. This actually goes all the way up to 16 million points, so you can get as high as 16 million. So obviously, super high points, you know, for this table. And definitely something that you want to kind of learn how to hit. Now, my preferred method of trying to get up this ramp here is backhanding from the left flipper. But it's hard and you got to be quick because you have to literally just, if you've got the ball cradled, let the flipper down, let it go down just a little bit, and then fire it as hard as you can right up in there. But it seems like it's just much easier to do that than try to get this angle where you're hitting these posts and draining. But either works. You can still very easily hit it up here with this one here. I just feel like this is quote unquote, you know, safer for me. Okay, so let's see. I think that covers everything on Palace Jackpot. Like I said, it's pretty straightforward, man. Spell Palace, collect it there. Next one is Clown Time. So as we talked about here, Clown Time is getting all of the lights lit on this clown, shooting the ball up this ramp. And so Clown Time it's a hurry up scoring mode lasts for 25 seconds. And basically all targets are 50k. So if you're hitting, you know, these drop targets here, they're 50k, and various things, the dummy 50k. I think even shooting up here. But the major shots, the Ferris wheel, this ramp, and this ramp here, they actually are much more valuable and they increase in value every time you hit them. So they start at 500k, then they go to 750k, and then they go to 1 million. So again, if you can hit those during Clown Time, that's a great way to rack up points as well. And the last thing I'm going to talk about here is the Mystery Award. So the Mystery Award is, again, this little orange, yellow light here. You collect it by shooting up into the juggler. Now, the Mystery Award gives you 16 possible awards, okay? So run through them really quickly. 1 million, 2 million, 3 or 5. So 1, 2, 3 or 5 million points. You can get either light extra ball, which is lighting these lights, or it gives you the extra ball outright. Light special is one. Award Palace letter is probably the most common one that I get a lot. You can instantly activate Clown Time. You can instantly activate Ball Lock, which is actually really cool. You'll get one that increases your multiplier by 1. So if you're on 2x, it'll jump you up to 3x. And actually, that's good too. If you haven't got to 3x to get your extra ball and you're already on 2x, it will not only pop you up to 3x, but you'll also get that extra ball light, which is again a really good thing to get, of course. And then the last one, my favorite, absolutely fucking nothing. Man, I get that one way too much. I'm sure all of you are probably thinking the same thing that have played this table. What the fuck is the deal with that? Like, I get it, you know, it's a random award and sometimes you get nothing, but man, you get awarded that a lot, and the way that they do it, they just really, man, they really fist fuck you with that one. But it happens. Part of the table, I guess. So, yeah, so that's really all of the main kind of scoring things you need to know. You know, but it's like I said, trying to remember them all in the heat of the game is a challenge, and trying to remember all the stuff that you need to do, and the fact that they've crammed a lot of shit into each target. Makes it a little bit tough. But hey, that's this game, right? Okay, so couple of miscellaneous things I wanted to talk about. The outlanes. I mentioned this at the top. Man, I fucking hate these things. Every time the ball goes anywhere near these outlanes, it's hitting something and making that hard left or that hard right. And I know you're gonna hear me bitch about this on a lot of tables, but like this one, it's like particularly bad. Like they just get vacuum sucked into these outlanes. So my advice, and it feels more so on here because I'm always on this side of the table, not so much here, but anytime the ball is just kind of fumbling around here, give it a fucking nudge, man. Try to do everything you can to get this like green, you know, I don't know if it's how it's coming across on camera, but basically like this kind of flat green area here, right below the green lights. Anytime you can use the nudge to use that to kick the ball away from this, do it, because the ball every single time rolls down here, hits the top of the slingshot, does a hard fucking right out the lane. And it does it every fucking time. And if it doesn't hit that, it goes here in the middle and bounces and goes hard out. Like I very rarely get the ball, unless it's coming down this ramp, I very rarely get the ball coming down this in lane. Same thing on this side. If the ball is kind of fumbling around here, nudge it, get it the fuck away. Yes, one of the dangers is you nudge it away and sometimes you'll nudge it a nice perfect arc right down the middle, but at least you have a fighting chance, because if it comes down here and hits the top of these slingshots, it's going out. Another thing that just frustrates the piss out of me is like a ball will be coming down the ramps and it'll look like it's coming. So I'll use this one as an example. It's coming down here. It looks like it's coming nice and soft to your flipper, and it barely grazes the bottom of the slingshot, but it will activate the slingshot and shoot the ball right down the middle every fucking time. And you look stupid because I've got my flipper up looking to like make a nice soft catch, and it just fires it off. And if it doesn't fire it down the middle, it fires it just like off your flipper. It'll hit your flipper, and because I have my flipper up to catch, it hits this flipper, hits the back side of my left flipper and out. Pisses me off. So watch the bottoms of those slingshots, because they activate pretty quickly and pretty easily, and it gets me a lot. Let's see. Oh, the extra ball light. I mentioned this before, but want to again cover it really quickly. It's super important. When you get the light extra ball, my recommendation is, first thing you do, try to go whatever ramp you're most comfortable with shooting. Go for one of those ramps, and then get that extra ball light over to one of the two in lanes, whichever ramp you pick, in order to collect that extra ball right away. Usually is pretty easy. For me personally, I prefer going for this ramp, and it gives you plenty of time to get that extra ball light over. The ball goes all the way around and down, and boom, collects your extra ball. So just keep that in mind. That's the easiest way to collect the extra ball. Don't try to take the chance of like letting it roll to the out lanes, because as we just talked about, it's going to be gone. Let's see. We already talked about this. Don't shoot directly for the dummy shot. No matter how much shit that guy's talking, don't do it. Don't do it. Just saying, don't do it. Mystery award. So this is interesting too. If you have the playfield multiplier lit, right? So the 2x, 3x, 5x, whatever it may be, right? If you happen to notice or get the mystery lit as well, always try to collect that and make that shot when you've got the multiplier activated. And the reason why is because if you get, and it's pretty common, if you get one of the points awards, the 1, 2, 3, or 5 million, that actually gets multiplied. So for example, if you have the 5x multiplier up, and you hit that shot and you get the 5 million award, you're actually going to get 25 million points. So that is multiplied. But obviously it's only good if you get the points award. You know, obviously if you get like light extra ball or absolutely nothing, it doesn't do you any good, it does fucking nothing. But it's always good to try to take that quote unquote chance of getting that, collecting that mystery award while you have the multiplier going. because it could be a lot of points. So something to keep in mind to look for when you've got the multiplier going is, hey, do I have my mystery lit? And of course, you know, again, this is how you light the mystery award, but if it's not already lit, it's going to be really tough to have enough time to do that and then collect the mystery award while the multiplier is ticking down. So that's something to keep in mind too. Look, you can try it, you can go for it, but at that point you might be better off just shooting for ramps or something like that instead of trying for that. But like I said, if it's already lit, try to go for it, try to hit it. Let's see. And the last thing that I have for me personally is the visual extras. I turn the visual extras off. It is a personal preference thing. You can do whatever the fuck you want. But for me, number one, for this particular table, I can't stand looking at that motherfucker. And I just have found on the Williams tables, I play a lot better with them turned off. I personally recommend turning them off, but it's obviously personal choice. So, with that, final couple of thoughts here. My recommendation really is just work on perfecting your timing, okay? It's hard. I've played this table quite a bit, and I still don't feel like I've got the timing down to hit that, especially on the skill shot. I am late a lot. Now, the good thing is you want to be late rather than early. If you're too early when you're shooting for this shot, you're going to hit that and you're draining. At least here, you hit the cat targets, and then you have a fighting chance for it to kind of come down to this flipper. Or if you hit the ramp and it kind of bounces back and forth, a lot of times what I do is it'll bounce back and forth and then it comes down nice and soft. Just do a dead flip, let it dead flip over to your flipper, and then you get another shot at it. And that's especially good when you have, let's say if you hit the ramp once or twice and you're going for that million shot and you miss it, you know, let it do its soft roll down back to the flipper, and it literally is coming back to you within like 2 or 3 seconds and giving you another opportunity, rather than have it come down and then you smack it and you wait for it to bounce around to try to get it on the flipper. By the time you do that, your time is probably expired on trying to hit that next shot. So definitely look for, whenever you're getting that nice soft roll back, if you don't quite make the ramp, the nice soft roll back, let it dead flip back over to here and then capture it if you can, and then go for the next shot again. Try it again. Let's see. You know, this is a table that I think a lot of people have, you know, say is good to practice multi-balls on, and kind of control your multi-balls and figure out the best way to, you know, hold a multi-ball and try to do repeat ramp shots. So this is a good table to try to practice that with. So again, good thing to keep in mind is, like, look, if you're not playing for score, if you're just tooling around trying to, you know, get better at the table and get better at multi-ball, you know, I would start games where you're literally just trying to hit these and activate the multi-ball and lock them and just work on that. Definitely something worthwhile, in my opinion. And then the last thing I would say, and I touched on this earlier, as much shit as I'm giving this table, just because it's a hard table doesn't mean it's a bad table, right? Like, this is the type of table where it's like, it fucks you over and over again and you keep coming back for more. I'm guilty of that. I like trying to play it. I like trying to get better. It's one of those tables where it's like, it's frustrating, but it's frustrating because I'm like, oh, I know I can do better, so let me come back and do it. So before people, you know, jump into the comments, oh my god, he's shitting all over her, I'm not. Like, the table's hard. It's fucking hard, and there's a lot of criticism that could be, you know, levied at it that I think is fair and valid, but it doesn't make it a bad table, and I'm certainly by no means saying it's a bad table. It actually can be pretty fun, and it's challenging, and it's, you know, sometimes it's actually feels worth it, or, you know, you have that kind of worthwhile feeling when you kind of fire it up and you get a pretty good score. So this is the type of table that I would put into that category of, like, frustrating as fuck, but, like, can be rewarding if you kind of figure it out and you actually have a good game. And I will definitely keep coming back and playing it. I'm not going to say that it's one of the best Zen tables or the best Williams tables. It's hard and it can be frustrating, but it's definitely one of those ones that's fun to fire up every once in a while and, you know, take out some frustration. So anyway, that's all I have for this one here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. As I've said in my other videos, you know, if you have anything additional in terms of tips, anything I missed, please add them to put them in the comments. If you think that I'm wrong on anything, you could tell me I'm full of shit, whatever. Just, you know, say something. So anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you like this content, let me know, like and subscribe, and I'll keep making more. Thanks again, and we will see y'all soon. Take care. Bye.